Hey guys, welcome back. It's time for another tutorial. Thank you guys for being so patient with me while I got this out. We're going to be making some monster shakes, also known as freak shakes. Okay, they are a huge hit amongst the Tumbler community, as well as just people who love milkshakes in general. So this should be a very good one for you to make for your customers. I'm using a mason jar tumbler. I'm not sure the ounces, but I got this from Craft Haven. I love Craft Haven tumblers. The company is amazing, very quick shipping, very great prices, so go check them out. Okay, I'm gonna be taping off around this rim. Okay, I really want to make sure that I am not getting any glitter and glue on this area. I'm choosing to epoxy and glitter my cup. All right, and I'm gonna be using a cream colored spray paint. All right, I'm using that because I couldn't find a cream colored glitter, right? I've seen some people dye their glitter with like a little drop of alcohol ink. I didn't want to do that, so I decided to spray paint my cup cream, and I will put the name of the spray paint in the description of this video. But I spray painted the cup cream, and then I used a Lean's Tack It glue. I went ahead and applied that with my sponge brush, and I went ahead and glittered it. Once I glittered it, I sealed this with clear Rust-Oleum, and then I went ahead and epoxied it. Okay, I did one layer of fast setting epoxy. So the fun part is you get all of these little cool things in your packet. Okay, so those of you that did not choose, or those of you that chose not to have the Halloween subscription box, you guys received a lot of chocolate goodies. a lot of chocolate goodies. So the key here for me was trying to find matching brown paints, because every chocolate is a different color. Of course you could custom mix it, but you just want to go ahead and spray paint. You could spray paint or hand paint your pieces first, let them dry, and then once they're dry, you'll be able to assemble. I went ahead and did the front and back, and sometimes it took multiple layers because these paints can be kind of translucent. Okay, but I put on a Netflix show and I was just watching that painting, and got it all done. I got it on my arm too. Again, here I am glittering the cup. Nothing fancy here, but this is the color that I was talking about. I'm not sure if, let me see, do I have it? Nope, I don't have it with me, but I will get it and I'll put it in the description of the video. But it's a nice cream color. And again, I didn't have one of those makeup brushes, so I went back to my OG sponge brush, and I am just applying this all over my tumbler to get it a nice coverage. I stopped using Mod Podge. I used to use Mod Podge all the time. It was like it was my go-to. Now I use Lean's Tack It for all of my glitter applications, unless I'm doing the epoxy method. It just works out so much better for me. I'm also using this new glitter that I got from Tellybox Crafts. I will definitely put that also in the description bar. And I just went ahead and applied this glitter all over. I love how when you add a different color base and then you add your white glitter, it comes out with a completely different color. So you guys be sure to check that out and try that and let me know how you like it. Okay, but this is so pretty, and I am in love with this color. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, I went ahead and sealed this with Rust-Oleum clear. Okay, and I did a really good coverage on that It really didn't matter though, because it's not like I'm adding another glitter color for anything to be slippery and round. But now I'm removing my painter's tape because I'm gonna go ahead and epoxy this, and I want to make sure that I'm getting epoxy just a little bit above the painter's tape line, or the line, the top of the glitter. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. All right, and then I'm going to be mixing up some fast setting epoxy by Counterculture. I do enjoy using them for certain projects, as well as other fast setting brands. Okay, but I did test this out with the top. I wanted to make sure and see like how big of a gap I had here. So this is something for you to consider when you're making your design. Okay, my cup is not glittered yet. I think at this point I was trying to decide if I was going to add the spackle onto the cup before it was epoxied, or if I was just going to do it when it was on the cup. And honestly, if you are not as indecisive as I am, you probably could just go ahead and add your spackle onto your cup before you epoxy. You honestly could, because then you could just epoxy all in one. I was so indecisive, so I went ahead and put the cup on the turner with the epoxy, and now I am actually adding a little miniature cake. I have a full tutorial in the group, in the guide section, so you guys can see like the full length tutorial on what to do. But really and truly, you're just cutting up one of your household sponges and adding a little bit of spackle to it to create icing. That's it. And I decided I wanted this because I did need like a filler into this lid. I didn't realize how big these lids are. They can be pretty big. So, I already had a lot of plans for whipped cream or spackle, but I went ahead and wanted to fill up a little bit more space. So you see me here. I decided also that I'm going to paint, I'm going to do brown, pink, and chocolate, which is so funny because I would never eat that combination. Like I would never eat chocolate and the strawberry cake together. I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know. But what I have found from doing these toppers and everything like that with the sponges, you use a lot of acrylic paint just to try to get in all of the holes and stuff like that. So I will tell you guys, don't worry about this being perfect or anything like that. You are going to be covering this up with spackle. You're going to also be covering this up with the drip, okay? You're going to be covering this up with one of these pieces that came in your subscription box. So you don't really need to worry so much about that. And to use less paint, you're going to go ahead and wet your sponge a little bit, okay? So the main thing is just cut it into your triangles, and you could, do that easily or not. Again, I'm being too much of a perfectionist because all this is going to be covered up with spackle, okay? But once you have your pieces, you should have your pieces cut. They should be relatively around the same size, and then you're going to go ahead and paint them. All right, I went ahead and got a little cup with some water in it, and I went ahead and used that to wet them a little bit, but you'll see in the full tutorial exactly what to do. Okay, take it from me, it's easier to use white spackle, and if you want it colored, go ahead and color it after. If you add your acrylic paint to your spackle, it's going to thin it out, and it can thin it out to loose, and you will not be able, it will take forever to dry. Okay, so I did not paint mine. I just wanted white as a contrast. I could have maybe, but you see here I'm just adding it on in between each layer, and then I'm going to add it on to the back side, okay? Because you know how you could either lay your cake flat or you can lay it, you know, where you can see all three layers. I'm gonna kind of lay it on my tumbler where you can see all three, kind of standing up, okay? And so I have to add spackle to that part, all right? But please keep that in mind. If you do not have spackle, you could use air dry clay. That is something that I have done and I do enjoy doing. The only thing I will, you know, kind of, I don't say warn you, but kind of give you a heads up on, again, if you decide to color it, you know, it's going to be too thin. It's just going to take a long time to dry. The sponges already take a long time to dry, guys, because they are sponges. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this topper has a lot of components to it. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, right? You have your mason jar, you have your pieces that you had to color. Now you have spackle on your cake per se, and you're about to put spackle on your cup as well. So trust me when I say just paint it afterwards. It's gonna be a lot easier for you, all right? And once you have your spackle done onto your little cake, right, you are going to add this to your lid, all right? You're gonna use glue. We're gonna use glue. Why we're gonna use glue is because we are going to be epoxying this, making sure everything is steady and stiff, you know what I'm saying? So we are just going to use some glue to get it on here. You see how I cut the piece of the cake off right there? I angled it. I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to add a good glob of glue on here and just go ahead and hold it up there. All right, we're gonna basically be playing connect pieces, connect the dots. That's really all you want to do. You're going to use one piece to kind of hold up the other piece and use that piece to hold up the other piece. If you look at any pictures on Pinterest, you will see it's a crazy kind of milkshake. That is the point. Okay, so you're not really trying to be perfect here. You really are trying to make it look over the top. Okay, but once you have your piece on there, you are going to take your next piece. Well, what I like to do sometimes is build up. So like put some hot glue if it's not sitting. Hold on. Okay, so again, put some hot glue and let it kind of like drip from the end of your cake to your lid. You're just kind of creating like a bridge to where it will sit steady. Okay. The point again is not for it to be perfect. You just kind of want to see and play around, kind of like Tetris in a sense. I will say this really quick. You see the silicone straw. All right. I want to say it was Karen in the group actually suggested in one of my tutorials. She was like, just put a silicone straw there, and that worked. The silicone straw works perfectly for this tutorial. Okay, I wish I could have got them in bulk and I would have given them to you guys in my in the boxes, but get you a silicone straw. You can get them pretty much anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's too big for the hole. Honestly, you just want to make sure that it's silicone because that way the epoxy won't stick to it. Okay, you see here that I added some the tallest chocolate bar to the back. Okay, and you know, just again using hot glue to kind of adhere all of the pieces. And I'm going to even add a little bit of hot glue in the middle here. Again, I'm not too worried about where I'm getting hot glue. Anything, you know, I'll cover it up with epoxy or whatever. You just want to take your time and kind of build and kind of get a vibe for what you're trying to do. All right, you guys got a lot of different pieces in there, so you know you can really build this up to be something really nice. I wound up using all my pieces except for one. Okay, so you know, I can't wait to see what you guys do and how many pieces you use, if you use all of them, if you do the cake, etc. But I'm, you know, just pretty much trying to figure out which way I want everything to go. Okay, and in between the spaces, you see, I will say this. Some people, when they do these, they won't go ahead and they add their spackle, and then they'll wait for their spackle to dry, and then they will kind of stick their pieces in between or inside the spackle. That is another way you could do it. That's a lot of spackle, right? And to me, the topper is already going to be kind of heavy. It's already going to take the the topper a long time to dry, so I'm not trying to use that much. Okay, and spackle is pretty dang on expensive. I don't know if you guys have noticed how the prices have really increased on the spackle. I think they got wind that we're using it for crafts, and they're like, oh yeah, we can hit the women in the pockets. But either way, go on Pinterest, look at an inspiration picture, and then kind of see where you want everything to be. Again, you're just playing Tetris. You're not concerned, oh my gosh, I got too much hot glue here, oh my gosh, you know, this don't concern yourself with that. Just get it up there, okay, and then you are going to fill it in with your spackle. I'm also going to put in the description the tip size that I used, and the style of tip, like whatever the number is, blah 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 blah. But doing this reminds me of my first job. I worked at McDonald's. My first job was, I was 14. I think I had to get a worker's permit, if I remember correctly, to work. I was either 14 or 15. I think in North Carolina you couldn't start working until 16. I don't remember, but either way, I was working at McDonald's, and I would I would do ice cream. You know, I loved working the ice cream machine, right? And I would do the cone, and I would like swirl it all the way and make it look so pretty, and all of the people, like the customers, loved it. The customers absolutely loved it. But the management was like, you're giving out way too much ice cream. Because I would make it so high. I would make it so high. And so making, you know, this with the spackle really is giving me nostalgia of like that ice cream machine. Okay, so all right, you see here I put my Oreo right in the middle of it. I'm filling in the gaps with spackle. All right, it is still a lot of spackle, guys, but in comparison to what it would be if we did the entire top as high as we are doing it here, is nothing. You see my silicone straw is still in there. It hasn't moved. I will say one thing I'm thinking about is even though it comes with the stainless steel straw that it comes with is straight. So you could give your customer that straw, but I would probably recommend you giving them a curved stainless steel straw. That's up to you, okay? But I'm filling in all the gaps with spackle, and then I went ahead and let this dry. This took a minute to dry. It did take a minute to dry, I ain't even gonna lie to you. But your next step is to go ahead and add it around your rim. Again, we're making over the top milkshakes. Usually they have like some type of frosting, icing, whatever on the rim. All right, so you want to go ahead and add that on. Okay, I just used a piping bag, guys, and just kind of did it, and then used a plastic knife and smoothed it on there. Very simple, very easy. In your kit, you guys should have gotten those little fake nuts. I'll put the name of them and also you know, the brand that I got in the description so you guys can know. So you get a huge bag, I am not selling this. You can get this off of Amazon. I think you can get it even at PetSmart if I'm not mistaken. But you get a huge bag of this, and it doesn't go bad. It lasts forever, and that's what I'll be using for the fake nuts. Okay. And the issue with them is, you know, you don't want to kind of just roll, you know, like at the milkshake bar, they would just take in their cup, put the stuff in, like dipped it in there, took in their hand and then pressed it on. But with this, you kind of want some of the texture, so you can't just do that. So I did sprinkle them on, and once I sprinkled them on, so a lot of them fell off, and I had to go ahead and pick them up off the paper and kind of like sometimes individually place it onto the spackle. Okay, but honestly, the main point that you're trying to do is just to get it on. However you do it, get it on. No, I didn't add any glue to each individual you know, fake nut. I went ahead and just stuck them right on. Okay, you could even do that with your sprinkles. Again, you got sprinkles in your kit, you got these fake nuts in your kit, you got all these cool little things to do. So just have fun with it, really get creative. This was a challenging subscription box because there was a lot of different components to it. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this one in tier 2. This was fun for me. I actually love this, and I am going to be giving this one away. So make sure you're tuning in and make sure you're staying active in the group. Okay, so we have to do the same thing onto the tumbler. I'm gonna say this: you do not have to. You honestly do not have to add spackle onto the tumbler. I'm adding spackle onto the tumbler because, again, in the milkshake you know, pictures that I have seen, it's all on there. It's on the tumbler, or the, you know, the cup that they give you, and it's on, you know, it's on the topper. So I'm trying to really imitate that look per se. So I'm gonna have to add it on, and I wanted to kind of get a vibe. I did do the back, guys, so don't think I just left that gap there. I just was holding it there and I couldn't get it at the time. But yeah, so I'm just gonna add this spackle. I'm gonna speed through this part because this is pretty much exactly the same, guys. I'm just taking my piping bag and you know, adding it around, and taking my knife and going ahead and smoothing it out, or, you know, kind of, I don't know, yeah, I guess you could say smoothing it out all the way across. I'm not concerned that much about the top. I have my painter's tape, I mean my electrical tape there, and you get to decide as well how far down you want to go. That's the great thing about this. Like, there's no real like measurements. You just get to, you know, wing it, you know, and nothing you do is wrong. Everything makes this look really, really good. Almost as if, like, the more messier it is, the better. I will say from experience, with this, you know, this type of tutorial, you do want to take your finger and kind of like press down any parts that are sticking up. I say that because they, you know, they will fall off or break off. You don't need that. So just go ahead and take and press them off. Okay. I'm adding the fake nuts on to this part as well, like a whole cohesive look. Okay, we got it on the topper, we got it on the tumbler. All right, and you know, after you do this, you're gonna go ahead and seal it in. I went ahead and sealed it in with a paintbrush, but really and truly, you could use your gloved hand. You just really want to be sure to make sure that but you want to make sure that it's sealed. That is the primary goal here. It needs to be sealed. All of the parts need to be sealed. Okay. And once it is sealed, right? Meaning your spackle and your little fake nuts, once you have sealed it on your tumbler and you have sealed it on your topper, all right, you want to let that cure. I went ahead and used countercultures fast set as well to, you know, seal all of this in. Just keep in mind that certain epoxies, especially fast setting epoxies, do yellow quicker than others. And if you're doing like a lighter color design, keep in mind that, okay? The reason why I liked using countercultures was because it cures pretty fast for me in my environment. Like the time frame that they tell you it cures faster than that for me. So I was trying to get this done, and I needed it to cure fast. However, if I was making this for a customer, I probably would go ahead and use the epoxy that has like the bluish tint so that it wouldn't yellow as quickly. Okay. But yeah, I'm using my glove tan. I'm using my paintbrush. And I'm just literally applying this all over. Keep in mind, I still have my silicone straw right in the center. And really and truly, guys, I can't emphasize that enough. You want to do that. And that's just for your protection. Like, you don't have to worry about the epoxy getting under the layer. I mean, under the lid. Okay. I'm just liberally adding it on. I am taking some, I'm making sure that it's a lot on my brush, and I'm letting it drip in between each thing. You want to make sure you are getting the sponge. You want to make sure you're getting in between all the nooks and crannies. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you are getting this baby sealed, okay? And then put it down on your silicone mat. Okay, so now it's time to peel it off of your silicone mat. I want to say right before it is completely hard. That's what I would suggest. Like, not when it's still gooping, you know, wet, but right before it's completely hard. You know, you want to go ahead and peel it off of your silicone mat so you can go ahead and cut away. Okay, I had a piece of the straw, the piece of the epoxy that, you know, came off on the straw, go in the center hole. So I was like trying to get that off, which I was able to do. And then I'm just going to take my scissors, guys, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this remaining epoxy off. Okay, it's not difficult. I was going to take these clippers, but I was like, yeah, it's going to take too long. Let me get my scissors. And I just got my scissors and then just started cutting. Okay, if you let this fully cure, it's going to be a little tricky for you. So again, this is something you want to monitor when you do have time to do it. Go ahead and you know, kind of keep watch of this, and that way you can go ahead and cut it away easily. All right. You are also keeping watch that when you are cutting it away, it is not pulling or cutting your spackle. All right, you don't want it to cut your spackle. So just go ahead and be careful with that. All right. And once you go ahead and cut this away, you are going to get ready for your drip. All right, I'm using, again, CCDIY's facet epoxy with some acrylic paint, and I did add a couple drops of black paint just to make it a little darker, but I'm just going to be using that. All right, but this is the fun part. This is the funner part where you get to kind of like really see everything come to life. Okay, so again, get inspired, get on Pinterest. Let me see what you guys can do. So far, I'm really excited from y'all's comments on how many people are excited about this tutorial. So I'm excited to see it as well. Ultimately, you would go ahead and wait for your epoxy to thicken up. Again, I'm just trying to get it done, and although it still came out great, you know, the longer you wait for your epoxy to thicken up, the less translucent it'll be. Like, I don't want to say translucent because it is opaque once you add your acrylic paint, but like if you don't wait for it to be thick, once it's dripping down your spackle, it can kind of look thinner. I guess you'll have to see what I'm saying, but either way, you just want to go ahead and add your chocolate sauce wherever you want it to go. Again, I am trying to make sure I'm getting it all in the nooks and crannies, like in the crevices, right? So you had your spackle that covered up the gaps in your topper, but then, you know, you added your layer of epoxy. Now I'm adding a drip just as an extra layer to make sure that I'm getting all everywhere. Okay, and even if you wanted to, after this, you could go ahead and seal it in all together with another layer of epoxy. I didn't do that. I didn't feel the need to do that, but you could. Okay, and I'm just going, like, I can see my area right now where I'm doing it, but you know what I'm gonna do is I'm not picking this up because I need my straw to stay exactly where it is. So I'm just going to turn my silicone mat so I can see the back side or the front side technically. Okay, but yeah, you just want to keep adding it. Like, that's the whole point in this. And then after that was done, I went ahead and added some nuts because I thought that would look cool. Also, I added a drip onto the tumbler. I decided to add it on while it was sitting up. So that was a little tricky. I got some drips that are kind of like sideways and stuff like that, but I feel like it really looks great. I do. But yeah, you're just gonna keep adding. This, the whole point is over the top milkshake. Okay, and once you're done, it should look really amazing, but you're going to have to do and repeat the process of like cutting away the excess epoxy that dripped onto your mat. Okay, you're just going to cut that away. Once you cut that away, guys, you have this beautiful design. Okay, you definitely want to make sure that your epoxy isn't hard again. All right, the whole point is for this to be easy for you to do. So make sure when you add your drip, you are still keeping watch of your time, so that way you can go ahead and cut it easily. All right, but other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you guys for being so patient with me. Again, this was fun. I'm gonna make some more of these because I had ordered a whole case of these tumblers back in the day. So I'm gonna go ahead and be doing all different kinds because, you know, why not? You know, the pieces are now up on the website. So if you want to order some of those, you can. I'm not selling the nuts, you know what I'm saying, unless y'all really want me to. I don't plan to sell the nuts because you guys could really get a whole bag for dirt cheap. Okay, the sprinkles you can get anywhere. I do still have some available, so I will put those on the website. But other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next tutorial, which is the Halloween Monstershake. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.